Good save, Jerry. You got them. It made our lives a lot easier tonight, I think.
That's right.
I mean, I've been saying it for a while. I mean, just put it all out there. Yeah. Put it all out there. How about don't redact anything? You know, if I'm even a subject of this thing, and, you know, perhaps one of the initial catalysts of it, just because they would do anything. And it's because they needed it to be true, Jerry. It wasn't about facts. It was they needed to explain, again, not our policies are failed, they don't work. Our candidate is terrible, it's got no personality, but it was her turn. They needed to explain Donald Trump, because it wasn't lost on me that the great irony of 2016 was that it took a brash billionaire from New York City to actually be able to reach working class America, to speak to them, not at them, not lecture them, but to actually have a conversation with them. And they got it, and they realized that this was a guy that was going to fight for them. And that's why, I mean, if you look at the first 2 years of his presidency, it's been a promises made, promises kept agenda. Tax reform, couldn't get done. Done. Israel, never going to happen, despite the fact that it passed the Senate 99-0, because one guy called in sick that day. Done. You know, he's showing the world that when he says he's going to do something, it means business. We've gotten our respect back from it. You know, people, they're not messing with it. It's why, despite even this week in North Korea, it's why after 60 years, he's the only guy that's actually made any kind of progress in North Korea. How many times have you met with him? Oh, we haven't gotten a meeting. So Donald Trump comes in, and rather than doing the old sort of, you know, Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result, he changed up the game, he pushed hard, he did things, and guess what? We haven't had a nuclear test in a year and a half. We haven't seen test missiles flying over Japan. We're actually in a room. We got prisoners back. We got the remains of our Korean War veterans back. So all these experts that know so much, what did they do in 60 years, Jerry? They didn't do anything.
Sometimes you got to play hardball. You got to say no. They would give a little bit. They'd release some sanctions, and in return for lots of promises from the North Koreans, and then the promises wouldn't be kept.
And most importantly, sometimes you have to walk away.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. Oh my God! What, you want to sign a bad deal that means nothing? No, that's what Obama did. Obama was great at signing bad deals that meant nothing or were terrible for the United States. But it doesn't matter, because when you have 95% of the media coverage, 93% of the media coverage, and they want to do anything to make you a hero, you don't have to make good deals.
Well,
we make good deals with 93% negative coverage, but the reality is the results are speaking for themselves, Jerry. Conservative thought. And, you know, but there was a time you grow up with enough people from the other side.
I have to believe that if President Obama had gone to North Korea and had been there in a summit, and at the same time the Republicans had called a convicted felon to testify before Congress about Obama, everybody would be screaming, that's treason. You're working against the United States' chance to get peace with a nuclear power. But yesterday, we didn't hear anybody yelling treason.
No, 100%. I mean, I was pretty vocal about it on social media, for those of you who like my Twitter feed. Yeah. But no, it was, I mean, think about even an opposition party that hates the president so much that you would counter-program nuclear peace talks with a convicted criminal one of whose many convictions was lying to Congress. I mean, think about what that does when the other side is seeing that going on simultaneously. You're going to have a good negotiation with that going on in the background, but that's the reality. The left hates Donald Trump much more than they love America. They would rather see failed nuclear peace talks than give Donald Trump even a little bit of a win. And by the way, like I said earlier, he's already had more wins than anyone since the end of the Korean War. All of you, as religious conservatives, have seen and witnessed with your own eyes